Welcome back, people. It is episode 26 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. You're going to be hearing this on the 26th. We're recording it on the 25th. Before you're done, make sure you follow, like, and share. And of course, anywhere you get your podcast, we are here. Now, we got a fair amount to get into today. We got some strange and unusual topics as it pertains to the baseball. We got some college baseball talk as well. Some MLB Wheel of Death, as that is the consistent topic of the MLB season, some NBA Finals talk, and some NBA Draft talk. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now.
Kick back and relax for now.
We talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vince, what are
What's
you
up,
doing?
What's up, dude? I feel like I'm going to like the MTV like music video awards or something like that. I got on a fuzzy bucket cap and some shades right now. It's like, what, are you trying to ask me about basketball?
You instead of Fat Joe, you look like Medium Joe.
Thank you.
You look like after Ozempic Joe.
Yeah, Fat Joe was fat. That was a fat man.
Fat Joe was fat, so was Big Pun.
Yes, Big Pun
There's a
fatter.
question.
Big Pun died by fat. Death by fat.
All right, here's a question. Hip-hop
Okay.
question. Start the podcast. Not a real thing, but
Pound for
just a
pound
question.
best hip hop artist?
No.
Not Big Pun.
Who was
Probably
better?
Tupac.
Who was better? Big Pun or Fat Joe?
Dude, I was pretty young for all of this, but as far as like the songs I've listened to, Fat Joe.
What?
But I was also really young, dude. When did Big
All
Pun
right.
die? When did he die?
Big Pun died in like 99, and he died.
Yeah,
of
when
a
do you
rat
think I
race
was
because-
fucking born, Mike?
97. Anyways,
95. Fucking
my bad.
wild.
95. I was close.
Yeah, he died in
Close.
2000, so I was 5 years old when he was dead.
See?
Like Fat Joe's
Yeah,
had a
but
bigger effect on me.
Yeah, but it's very similar to like Diddy coming in after the fact, to Biggie dying and kind of taking the clout. Same thing with like Mace, even though Murder Mace, aka
You're
the
not even
Mace,
gonna mention Tupac. Is crazy, dude. We love Tupac. Are you
I
going
like
only?
Tupac,
Are you only
but-
going New York? I like Tupac better than Biggie.
It depends on the day, honestly.
You want to know why?
I mean,
I've had so.
in my
people ask this
opinion, if
question.
you stack this up side by side, really the best lyricist, if you're really gonna break it all down, was Big L. Big L needs to be considered
right.
in that conversation.
All right,
if he's
fucking
not, like,
hipster ass hip hop motherfucker coming at me right now. You gotta listen to Big L. We love Big L, dude.
dude, Big L was Brooklyn. I mean, that was like they all
Simple.
ran in the same circles.
I know what you're saying, but that's like being like, you know, do you like A$AP Rocky? It's like, actually, I'm a Ferg guy. You can't.
No, you see, that's apples and oranges. You can't compare ASAP Squad to Big
I'm just
L.
saying, you know, like comparatively, like clearly, like Tupac and Biggie. were the big
Tupac
ones.
to me was just a poser. Like, I mean, granted, lyrically
Come on.
talented. Don't get me wrong. The production
Dude,
was drapey.
no, stop it.
Okay.
If you're comparing the two, I think Biggie's a more like honest rapper. But if I'm trying to put on a song that's like a dancer, like if I'm putting on a song at a party, I'm not putting on Biggie Smalls. I'm just not
What?
gonna do it. I will put on Tupac before Biggie Smalls every single time. All Eyes on Me is bangers front to back.
B.I.G. B.O.
Yeah, it depends on the
BPA.
party you're going to, I guess. But that's personally
No info for the DEA. Like, how are what?
in my personal
Like-
humble opinion. dude.
What? I'm sorry. Like, I understand California love, get the party going.
All right,
I
I'm
understand
talking
it,
about
but that
the
middle
entirety
ground,
of All Eyes on Me is a beauty.
it's great, but then again, I don't know, man.
You want to know who I put on over the two of them completely?
Who?
It's Wheezy Baby. That's who I put on Lil Wayne over both of them. So
the Carter 6 is horrible. I digress.
I agree. Carter 6 is ass, but the Carter 2, the Carter 3, no ceilings, beauty, good times.
Well, the Life After Death album by Biggie, I mean, that may be like the best hip hop album ever.
Right.
I mean, it's very
listening to it. Though.
It's very
good
Mac Miller. No, it's very Mac Miller. It's
Early
very
or
Mac
late?
Miller, like late Mac Miller, best work he's probably ever put out. Dead. That was
yeah. Stop making your best shit right before you die.
Ready to Die. That was it for me. Like that's maybe one of the best hip hop albums ever. But you got to understand, like that paved the way for Nas, All Eyes on Me. That paved the way for Jay, and everything. I mean,
I know the New York state of mind.
I get it. It's all kind of like I'm just going back to Big Pun though. Big Pun would have been in that question, would have been in that whole saga. I mean,
I agree, but you do have to be
time,
less than 500 pounds to survive for a long time. Unfortunately,
well, Biggie
that's a prereq.
Biggie was a ticking time bomb. Tupac was just like I hate to say.
Well, I mean,
it,
Biggie was too, but like Biggie and then Big Pun were like almost two different categories of huge.
Do you believe the theory that like at that time the CIA implanted certain Juilliard kids in order to infiltrate like hip hop culture in order to create more gang violence?
No, but maybe. I wouldn't be surprised, but that seems like something that's such a non-factor versus stuff that they have to worry about.
Well, if you think about Tupac, for example, Tupac was a Maryland kid.
Yes.
And he went to Juilliard and acted.
Right.
And then not only that, then became a part of the West Coast scene.
Well, he was always a flamboyant fellow. He wasn't necessarily against that. Like he was always kind of like an actor of many ways. He was born in Harlem, wasn't he?
Yeah, but then moved to Maryland and then rep New York. And then he was rolling with Biggie for a long time. I mean, they were like copacetic. Yeah. No, he didn't make West Coast. He joined West Coast. He joined Death Row.
You didn't let me finish my sentence. He made West Coast music, is what I was going to say. He created West Coast music after it was already created, but he made West Coast music. He didn't make East Coast music. He made West Coast music. He made that bouncy-ass dance shit.
Well,
the fun stuff.
Beats by Dre. Come on. Beats by
fun
Dr.
stuff.
Dre.
Here's another question before we get into sports. Do you believe in the moon landing? I've been getting into this recently.
It's difficult considering we've never been back.
I don't believe it. I don't
believe it either.
I was just like completely convinced of this because every single thing that we've done since that time, any technological advancement that we've done, why haven't we gone back? We have grown exponentially, dude. They were like,
why the fuck haven't we gone back?
They're like, create the internet. We're going to make this amazing. They pushed the atomic bomb to a level that is now literally almost starting World War III with nuclear power. We've done everything, airplanes, all that stuff. We went to the moon once and they're like, nah, we're good. Fuck you. There's no way. We don't do that with anything.
Not with modern technology today.
And then they're like, we did it once. There's no reason to go back. Come on, bud.
Well, in that time frame, there was like a race to the moon between Russia, China.
Which makes sense as to why they would fake it. That's why they would fake it. Because if they're good, dude, clearly, if you spend the amount of money, which is an astronomical amount of money, to get to the moon, and you go and you collect a bunch of moon samples, and then you bring it back and sell it, you'll probably make back most of that money. You probably will. Let alone like setting up like a little like section of the moon. Like, come on, fuck off. There's no way. There's no way.
I invested in moon rocks many years ago. Great investment. Not many people invest in moon rocks the way I invest in moon rocks. A lot of people had no idea what the fuck they were doing. A lot of people consider us now, what the fuck is he doing? I'm like, we're going to the moon.
We're going to the moon. We're just going to go to the moon.
I could see him saying before the end of his presidency, by the way, we're going back. So
I just like, I would like
for that.
All they have to do is just prove they can get there. Because I don't like, You hear the Apollo missions. You hear that they went once and they never went back. And you're like, why? And like, I know they want to go to Mars and all that shit, but it's just every single thing that we have done technologically, we have expanded aggressively, almost to a fault. Almost to a fault. But for some reason
the fact that we haven't been back is a little fucked up. I agree.
I'm not a conspiracy guy,
slippery.
but that might be my conspiracy, dude. Because like, people say that we didn't go. Like, I'm not a flat earther, but I am like a hey.
Okay.
Why have we never tried to go back?
All right. If we're on conspiracy talks, did Israel help push an agenda to get 9/11 done in order to get us involved in the Middle East?
I'm not even going there. Probably. Probably. Dude, probably.
Netanyahu's not a good person. I don't care. I mean, he's
feel bad. This shit makes me feel bad, dude. Watching this happen makes me feel sick to my stomach, bruv. I hate it. I hate this.
I mean, it's the war that's been going on for the beginning of time.
Forever.
For the whole.
That's what I'm saying. You want to know what helps with that, though?
Sports?
Yeah, because you can argue about something that's so non-consequential that when you see that happening, you're like, yeah, you see Kevin Durant's a rocket now? Like, that's literally what I think about.
Yeah. It's like you don't see all those rockets that are going just flying. You know what's insane, though?
I'm 2 hours into, like, scrolling down the news, then I'll text my brother and be like, hey, Bradley Beal might get traded to the Bulls. And you're like, all right, cool. Get me back to what I'm used to.
Please no. God,
no,
please
thanks.
no.
No, thanks.
Yeah, it's a nice distraction.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just like all this is just posturing. It's just
hurts my brain.
Well, they may
hurts my heart, hurts my brain.
Right? It's like that Chappelle Show episode. It's just like one may say you're looking to invade the Middle East for oil. Bitch, you cooking? He like knocks the water glass over. He's like, "Oh, fuck out." It's like history repeats itself. It is so just goofy where you just look at this entire situation and it's, people are like, "Oh, is this your first time?" No.
No. Been there.
Seen this movie.
Done that. Many a time.
All right. Well, speaking of strange and unusual topics, Vince, there is a baseball coach out there.
Oh, yeah.
That pantomimed a umpire to the ground. Could you believe it?
Dude.
He mimed him to the ground. He was like,
this is my number one reason why robot umps should never exist ever. Is this shit. You'll never see this again with robot umps. So, before we talk about this, I'm going to play the videos. If you are listening, you're going to be able to hear it. If you are watching, it's going to be a lot better to listen to. We're going to watch Coastal Carolina's coach in the College World Series Finals, him getting ejected and his interview after it. So, allow me to open it, and then we will watch it.
okay.
So this is my man right now.
Oh.
Running out to argue. Here we go.
Bottom of the first inning, the home plate umpire throws Kevin Schnall out.
Oh, it gets in the middle of him. Oh. Yeah.
One of the least athletic things I've ever seen in my life.
Not an athlete.
One of the most least athletic things I've seen in my entire life. So there's that. And then here's the interview.
And then he's like,
for you
really
guys,
mad at him. He's like, "How dare you?"
For the listeners that don't know, the Coastal Carolina coach went out and argued with the umpire. Umpire ran up to him. Essentially, they bumped into each other with inertia, and the umpire fell over and got real angry at him and immediately was like, he's out. So this is what the coach had to say in regards to that.
For arguing balls and strikes. And at that point, I said, because you missed 3. At that point, ejected. If that warrants an ejection, I'm the first one to stand here like a man and apologize. If you guys watch the video, there was a guy that came in extremely aggressively, tripped over
Boom goes the dynamite.
Campos' foot, embarrassed in front of 25,000, immediately goes 2-game suspension and said, bumping the umpire. Immediately does that. There was no bump. He was embarrassed. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism.
That was the candy quote that everybody got. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism. And he's fucking right, dude. He's fucking right. It was not his fault that umpire ate shit. There's no way you could blame that on him.
Okay. Do umpires have too much authority in the game? Should there be a ejection review?
I think post game, yes. I don't think you can do it during the game because who's reviewing?
I mean,
who's reviewing it?
And for example,
and also if you get rid of an umpire,
then
if you get rid of an umpire, like what are you going to do? You need a replacement.
That would be hilarious. Be like, all right,
umpire gets ejected for being a baby.
Pick a lucky fan to get down here and third base.
Come on, that dude. That's like the question where
We've
it's like
been in that room.
30,
it's intense.
Yeah, dude, we watched it happen. I was like, there's no way in hell I'd be able to do this. Even 25% accurate. Everything's a strike to me. I'm like, that looked all right. That looked close enough.
Strike. Oh.
And then they're like, you're doing it too loud. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. You would call ball too loud and get scolded. It'd be over for you.
Well, like I'm just like curious to like what would your motion be if you were an umpire on a strikeout? Are you?
Oh,
like
I was. I'm a big. I'm a gunslinger. I'm one of these. Steve Rock 3. One of those. Single hand gunslinger pistol.
I'm a big pull the lawnmower guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To get back to this though, obviously tensions are high. It's the finals for the College World Series, but this coach was going to get ejected regardless, for sure. Because he's out there arguing he was planning on getting ejected.
Well, he's out there doing it, but then again, he kind of got in the face of the one umpire, and then the other one got in the middle, and then one thing leads to another.
But the thing is he ran at him and then ate shit. So you can't get in trouble for running at a guy and not being athletic enough to catch your fall. That's on him. He's right about that.
I am not going to apologize for the lack of athleticism of another grown man.
All-time.
What a line. What a plug.
That was because, like, before in that interview, too, he's like, I'm a 43-year-old man. He's like, I'm not gingerly 25.
I'm a grown-ass man, dog.
I'm not going to apologize for this. Like, if I fell over, too, it'd be embarrassing. Embarrassing in front of 25,000 people, too, let alone. For some context, Coastal Carolina did end up losing this.
They did.
But
they lost the series. Yeah, it was unfortunate. I mean, best of 3, and LSU is really good. They're really stacked.
Very good. Yeah, solid squad, seemingly. But
this is the College World Series. You need a little lore. You need a little lore.
I will say, if you're a listener, if you haven't seen this, go back and find the videos, kid. It is
definitely
funny.
Go watch.
He does have like a like the Looney Tunes, it's like whoosh, and it's like someone slips on a banana peel and flips over 3 times. That's how the umpire looks.
He popped right back up. You could tell. He's like, oh god, that's so embarrassing. He's like, you know what? He's like, that's it, 2 games. But another question.
I played second base on JV, I swear.
Do you think if he stays with the team over the next 2 games, they're in the finals? Are they competing?
I don't know how much of a difference that makes. Maybe. Well, no, I don't. Because it's like there's so much like minimal adjustments that a coach can make. Like, yeah, but also like there is something to be said about them fighting for their coach too.
True.
Like they're probably battling for their coach because of that. So there had to be some juice on that as well. But no, I think there's too much going on where that wouldn't be an effect as much. He might even still be making the lineups at the end of the day. So
Chances are he's still making the lineups behind the scene, but then again, your coach being in the room is kind of a thing.
But what's a better like team collective thing that's like do it for coach? He got kicked out for some bullshit. We're gonna prove it regardless of him.
LSU's closer was 6'8".
Hoss.
Could you imagine being in the batter's box against that freak of nature? It's like Randy Johnson, but righty.
Dude, I couldn't imagine being against a 16-year-old phenom sophomore throwing 82. I would strike out immediately. Let alone a 6'8" College World Series pitcher throwing mid to high 90s at my face. No.
If I saw it enough, I'd probably be able to foul it off. Right.
That's your best case scenario. That's what I'm saying. There's no
yeah, maybe like a little.
You need 10. You need 10,000. Right, 10,000.
You got to be 10,000.
He's got to be 10,000. Yeah, it's got to be 10,000.
I mean, you got to be 10,000. By the way, I saw some guy plugging Ashton Hall on LinkedIn today, and I wanted to vomit.
Yeah, he's all over the world right now, and it's kind of annoying me. I'm out on Ashton
you pray
Hall.
for him. You pray for him.
That's all you do is you pray for him. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Now,
just gotta pray for him.
Vince, speaking of baseball,
yeah,
we have an update.
Okay.
One of the first Wheels of Death we did in all of professional baseball was the Mariners. It was
sir.
I think you were the Wheel
Correctamundo, Michael.
And we talked about a gentleman by the name of Cal Raleigh, who currently is MVP caliber.
I don't think it's insane to say that the catcher of the Seattle Mariners might win the MVP in the AL this year.
Insane. The man is raking.
So to let the people know, right now he has 32 home runs, 69 RBIs, 9 stolen bases for a catcher in the first half of the season. Most home runs by a switch hitter before the All-Star break ever. He's had top 20 MVP votes the last 2 years. If he continues this going, he's going to hit 59 homers this year as a catcher. And that would be more than Salvi Perez. And Salvi Perez barely played catcher that year. He's on a astronomical tear. He came to Wrigley and hit 3 home runs in the weekend in 3 games.
Yeah, and the wind was blowing out heavy that weekend.
Yeah, he was just ready to go.
A home run fest. The Cubs did drop 2 of 3 to the Mariners in that series.
Yes, they did. Correctamundo.
Very good ball team.
But yeah, I mean, he's hitting 281 with 32 homers as a catcher. Again, catchers are spending 90% of their time talking to pitchers and calling games. And he's also going out there and very casually mashing 32 with 69 RBIs right now.
Isn't he a switch hitter?
Yeah,
isn't he a switch hitter?
The most home runs by a switch hitter before the All-Star break ever.
He's the guy you create growing up in MVP baseball to be you know what? He's going to be a switch hitting catcher.
Well, he's just
can hit for power and average.
He's switch hitter Mike Piazza right now.
Or 2.
It's what he is.
Yeah?
That's what he's doing.
Mike Piazza, what a plug.
Monster. Roids, baby.
Remember when Mike Piazza was on Baywatch? In his illustrious acting career where
he's practicing his
swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just random and she runs by him and she's like, Mike Piazza. He's like, oh hey.
So are you practicing?
Let me help you.
Yeah. Well, and he was like, you can't get as good as me unless you're practicing all the time. And then he goes out and helps him. It's so insane.
Yeah, and he uses the bat as a prop to help the person who's drowning. He's like, here, take the bat.
Yeah, that show.
And then Pam Anderson's like, "Oh, I'd touch your knob any day."
I don't think he says that in the show, but it's assumed. It is assumed.
Assumed
a tomb. Dude's got a 6.67 slugging percentage right now. 6.67 slugging percentage. He's 2 away from his.
He's on pace.
He's 2 away from his career high in home runs, and we are in June still. It's June 26th today. 2 away from his career.
I said the Mariners, man. If you look at that team right now.
Well, luckily baseball's a one-man game. I've always said that, so They should be good.
Well, it's crazy. The Astros they always do this.
They're great.
They always disappoint, and then of course the Tigers. Just
I would love them
9.5 games out of everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, but he's on a tear, and make sure that you're following him throughout this because seemingly he's never going to stop, and I believe that he might win the AL MVP this year if he can keep this going.
In the words of Diddy, can't stop, won't stop. And as far as can't stop and won't stopping, don't forget, follow, download.
Can't stop
and
following.
Maybe give us a phone call.
Won't stop following.
312-725-2107 is the Taxi Squad podcast number. Call us and give us your thoughts. All right, so the Wheel of Death, Vince. Shall we spin?
We're gonna Wheel of Death it right now. That's still not the name of it, but it is the name of it because you forced it into my
Wheel of Death.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and spin it now. Here we go.
Baseball Wheel of Death.
Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Brewers.
The Brewers.
I would like to say something. I feel like this wheel is very central focused for some reason.
I mean, not really, Vince. We started in the West last week.
AL
was
West.
East with the Orioles.
We got AL East, and then we got the Royals, the Tigers, the Cubs, and the Brewers. We've only done this for 6 weeks.
Well, we got to get through all of them at some point, right?
I don't mind this, though, because the Milwaukee Brewers are an interesting-ass team, bud.
They really are.
Do you wanna hop into it? How do you feel about the Brewers right now?
Well, if you look at the Brewers right now, they're actually in a very interesting position. So they're 45-36. They're 2 games out of the AL Central. Everybody is NL Central. My bad. Everybody is riding the Cub D hard.
It's because of PCA.
Of course, it's PCA because he's generational. He's all these great things.
And the share of
With
the fans. They have a lot of fans. The Cubs have a lot of fans.
Sure. And what you can say about the Brewers is they kind of retooled. Now, all of this at this stage of the game without Christian Yelich, he's coming back, right? So the performance of, he's
Yelich, played 75 games this year. It's not like he's not playing.
Well, I understand. After an injury-ridden last year, now
you're saying coming back as a player because he's hitting 264 now. He's actually hitting home runs again. Yeah, he's back to what he should be. And then Brandon Woodruff as well. So you also have young players on this team like Caleb Durbin, Oliver Dunn, and overall, right now, I believe that this team could be in the race for the Central. They're always
there.
They're always there.
If they don't trade away their best, granted, I don't know. They did trade away a starting pitcher to the White Sox. I forget his name off the top of my mind for a bad.
Oh, yeah. They got Andrew Vaughn. I forgot about that. Yes. But they moved him down to the bullpen anyway. That's why you want to get traded anyway. But they have Andrew Vaughn in AAA, I think, right now.
Yeah. So Andrew Vaughn's not going anywhere. I watched Andrew Vaughn play AAA Charlotte. He's
not good anymore, man. The White Sox ruined him.
Maybe he has a renaissance. If you look at the White Sox draft period from that time,
Aaron Civale.
Okay. Aaron Civale's the guy. Either way, let's not make this a White Sox thing.
No.
Look at Rhys Hoskins on this team as well. He's been consistently featured.
Jackson Churrio's 21-year-old ass, 2 years in. They got players, bud.
They have players, and it's also going to look more so how they align moving into the second half. And the Cubs, I hate to say it, man, you look at the standings right now, and I'm sorry to all you Cub fans, so you're 4 of your last 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of your last 10, you've only won 4 of those games. You've lost games to sub-500 teams. It's not looking too hot right now. A lot of people
It's June.
I know, but a lot of people are saying you got to make some moves for an arm. So do you go get Sandy Alcantara? Do you go get Paul Skeens?
Do you want Sandy Alcantara right now?
Well, so there's reports coming out of Sandy Alcantara right now that
we had the Marlins too, by the way.
John.
Yeah.
I understand, but he's coming back from Tommy John, and recently his velocity's been up, and he's using his slider more.
Better than he was. That was bad. Beginning of the year was bad.
So there's some interesting articles here about this. Now, what's interesting, if you do look at the NL Central, between the Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers, they are
Yeah.
all a collective home record, basically of 25-15, which is kind of crazy. So if you look at it, the Cardinals are 26-15 at home. The Brewers are 25-6 at home, and the Cubs are 25-15.
This fucking division is so good. The Reds are good too. I mean, the Reds are only 5 out too in June.
I understand the Reds are 4.5 out at this stage of the game, and the Reds I don't think are there yet. I think maybe next year, because you got Tito doing his thing, you got Terry Francona doing that. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of him right now for completely other reasons, but I call the Cardinals
because he had a forgot about
slid in
that.
the DMs of my mother-in-law, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways,
Come on,
I'll call him out of that shit.
Tito's shoot.
Come on, Tito, dude. No. Fuck off, dude. Anyways, the Cardinals, I explained at the end of last season, could be a team. You look at what Sonny Gray's doing right now.
You picked him to win the Central, and you're looking pretty good.
An option.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Well,
yeah.
What I'm fearful of, if the Cubs don't make a move at the deadline for starting pitching, I don't know how it's going to look for them.
You can.
The Brewers, could it be a three-way?
The thing is with the Brewers is like the Brewers get rid of Corbin Burns when he's a Cy Young candidate for them. They get rid of Hader when he's the best closer for them, and they always find a new guy. I mean, Freddie Peralta's got a 2.9. Chad Patrick's got a 3.7. Quinn Presser's got a 3.7. Quintana's got a 2.98 for them right now.
Like Jose Quintana is still playing the game.
Yeah, he's got a 2.98. He started 10 games for them, 2.98. Like for some reason, whatever's going on in Milwaukee, like it's an ERA place to go. Like they're never going to be bad. They are the. It's kind of like the Thunder, which we're going to talk about later. But the Thunder, like they only had 2 down years, and they just come back and they start playing well again. It's like the Brewers are always going to play well.
It's more like 5 down years.
The Thunder?
Let's face it. Yeah, it was more like 5.
Sorta. They were good. Dude, they were good with Westbrook and Paul George. They go down for, 21, 22, and then they start competing again 23.
Fair.
It was only, 2, really bad years. Even regardless, it was, something's going on in Milwaukee, and they are a small to medium market team. Milwaukee's not a huge city.
They don't spend a ton of money.
They let their guys go.
Last year.
Yeah, Josh Hader was gone. Corbin Burns was gone. They only really paid Yelich. And they're competing. So, that's the thing. The Cubs can't get comfortable with a lead because they're always just going to be nipping at them at the bottom the whole time.
Well, this is so prototypical Cub fans. They get super high and mighty. And if you look at the rest of this division right now, they are hot. And this is what I stated early on. Everybody's riding the jock. And then the Cub fans
who's got the best roster?
And they think it's kind of a toss-up, man. Depending on the moves right now, the only thing the Cubs have going for them that no other team have going for them right now is just the depth in the outfield. PCA.
Well, who's the best player in the NL Central right now?
PCA. There's no doubt.
I mean, technically, it's fucking Kyle Tucker. The best player overall is probably Kyle Tucker.
I would say the most influential player at this time is PCA.
And PCA, is basically an MVP candidate. If Shohei Ohtani wasn't a person.
Kyle Tucker, if they don't re-sign him, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. But
they have to. That's so crazy.
It's very interesting to see this division start to play out because it's actually one of the closest divisions in all of baseball, specifically the NL.
It kind of always is.
So
it always has a couple teams that are just really going for it.
Well, if you look at across the league, you could look at the Blue Jays, Rays, and Yankees right now, 2.5 game out, and then
shout out to Toronto, by the way, too. Quite a turnaround in the last month and a half.
Yeah, Bo Bichette's really good.
He's good.
Yeah, and then the Central's pretty much locked. And then you look at the AL West, it's kind of up for grabs, but the Angels are a polite surprise. I mean, who would have thought they'd be 6.5 out and sitting in third?
That is crazy that they're 500 right now. They shouldn't be.
The season folds out in a very interesting way as you start to get closer to the All-Star break because you really start to see what these teams are, and then you really start to identify the gaps, and then teams also start to get hot in separate sectors of the year prior to the All-Star break.
Well, as a personal
Cubs get their
experience, you remember the 2017 White Sox. It's like a personal, like, you can say this for so long. The White Sox were the best team in the AL in 2017 at the All-Star break, and they didn't make the playoffs. So there is going, and that happens every year. There's always going to be one or two teams that are red hot for no reason in the first half of the season that just tank to death at the end of the year. I could see that being the Reds or the Cardinals. I could see that being, I mean, the Braves suck this year. Like,
you could really see that being the Brewers. You could really see that being the Cubs. You could see that being half of the Central.
The Brewers don't shit the. I mean, they lost their manager and they did the same thing. Like, doesn't matter who they lose. It's just rotate back in. We're all good.
Yeah, that's being a team that's well managed. And if you look at the Brewers, they don't spend a ton of money. Back to the point, the Cubs are trying to take a page out of that book, but they're not doing a wonderful job. The Cardinals are.
They're still number one in the NL Central, though. You could say all those things, and you still got to at least admit they're the best team in the NL Central right now.
Let's put it this way: the Cubs in 2 weeks could be in second place,
and they could also be
in first. Sure,
4 games up in first. They could be in 2 weeks.
Yeah, of course.
All those things are possible.
When you look at this trade deadline moving forward, it's quite interesting. So, you look at guys like Zach Gallen, Luis Robert, even Chris Sale is being talked about right now, potentially being moved. The Braves Alcantara as well. Yeah, the Braves just aren't it this year. So if I'm Chris Sale, I'm like, for him, he should be trying to vie. How do I get back to Chicago? He would be great. He would be great in that Cubs starting five.
I agree. This is an aside, but did you see? This isn't even about baseball, but did you see Emmanuel Acho's legacy ratings that he said on Fox Sports? I think Fox Sports, right?
Where was Joy Taylor's tits 1 and 2?
I don't know if she was on that show or not, but regardless, Emmanuel.
Well, no, I'm because Acho and her were doing the deal,
and he was posting some weird shit after that.
Just the best in the planet. I haven't seen her naked. The best reporter ever.
So smart. All this shit. You're like, all right.
Just brilliant. The after jiggle is impressive.
I mean, think you said that.
She's the best. Joy Taylor.
No, Emmanuel Acho. This I only know because Kevin Durant's been on Twitter recently, and I love when Kevin Durant's on Twitter. It's the best. God. He replies to everybody. Yeah, he's a DC fan. He wears White Sox hats. But Emmanuel Acho made a legacy meter where it's rings divided by teams played for.
Oh, God.
That was the whole thing. So he's talking about LeBron. He's talking about Durant. He's like Steph Curry, like Kobe Bryant, top tier guys because they only played for one team. So like Kobe Bryant's 5, Steph's a 4. I think Jordan's like a 3.2 or something like that, or 3 because he played for the Wizards for 2 years or whatever. Like the dumbest thing ever. Like as far as like a ratings concerned.
The context of all this is.
And then I think Durant's like a 0.7 or something like that. And then Durant's like, my meter is Emmanuel Acho was the worst linebacker to ever play in the NFL ever. That was his reply.
I don't blame him.
You think about it that way in like the baseball context, and you're just like, it's not a one-man fucking game either way. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like the Brewers could be the best team in the Central at the end of the year, or they could be in 4th.
Once again, I feel like a lot of this division is going to be blown up to the fact that maybe, just maybe, deadline move. So
they're the
look
kings
at what
of
this
that.
is going to be.
You trade for a guy for a year and a half, and then you trade him.
So, do they make a move? Do they do something different? Okay. Do you look at maybe trying to find it? Do you try? Yeah, Chris Sale of the Brewers, Chris Sale of the to the Cardinals. You look at the Cardinals right now, they could use a little depth. Even the Brewers could use a little depth in the outfield. Do they look at making a deal for Louis Robert? Or as Chris Getz called him today, Louis Robert.
I can't. I don't have the bandwidth to care.
Chris Getz called him Louis. Yeah, Louis is just doing his thing. I'm like, Louis.
I mean, he knows him better than us, though. So maybe he knows something that we don't.
Call him Louis.
I know. Maybe he knows something we don't. Who knows?
So, of all these teams in the NL Central, who do you think makes a move first? Do you think it's the Cubs? Do you think it's the Brewers?
I think the Cubs do.
Offload?
I think the Cubs. Okay. I think the Brewers are going to stay on the Brewers' path and maybe make a medium move. I think the Cardinals think and the Reds think they have 2-3 years before they're really at their best. I think the Cubs right now with Kyle Tucker, who they might not re-sign, and PCA going on a tear this year, and having a couple guys that are a little bit older and wanting Matt Shaw to get better and wanting Dansby to win something after the whole Braves thing. So, like, I think the Cubs are like, if we're going to capitalize on something, this is the year.
If you're the Cubs, do you trade Matt Shaw?
It depends. His stock isn't that high right now.
He got sent down to AAA now twice.
Right.
He's struggled at the plate. He's up and down.
He's supposed to be good. He's supposed to be good.
He's little. He's like little.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. We know that. Dude. Oh, this too. I saw a side-by-side of Altuve and Trout the other day.
The evil garden gnome known as Jose Altuve. There's another
Have you
name.
seen their comparable stats?
That's unfortunate.
Altuve might be a better player in his career than Mike Trout is.
Mike Trout went through his just run of just destroying baseballs, but then again...
And then he got injured a bunch, and Altuve's been consistent as the fucking wind. He comes up like the sun does. He does it every year. It's stupid. I don't like him, but God damn it if he's not good.
Well, Altuve, now he's playing left field, which is crazy.
Why not?
I don't know. Because why not? You're at this stage of your career. It's just like, I'll go play wherever.
Yeah.
I look.
He gets older, so they make him throw the ball farther for some reason.
There's a question: does Mike Trout get traded?
I don't think so. I think they keep him forever now.
Do you think? I mean, if I'm him at this stage of the game, I'm like, I just want to.
Maybe he does the Longoria thing, and he's just like, if I'm older, I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean that contract's up in a couple of years. So
Trout, maybe. I think he's signed till he's 40. I think it's just like the less money that's on it after years go by, they're like someone's like, fuck it. Why not throw Mike Trout out there?
Yeah. I mean, he's still very productive. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he's never healthy.
Right.
He's kind of like the modern day equivalent of like Anthony Davis. It's just like when he's on the court, he's awesome. When he's not, he's just worthless.
I mean, we'll get into it in a second, but he's got some help now, so we're good.
Oh God, yeah. Let's discuss that. But any trade deadline talk for you?
I don't know.
Any thoughts?
It'll be interesting. That's the thing too, though. It's like, does Zach Gallen go because Corbin Burns is the hottest player in MLB right now? Maybe the Diamondbacks start doing something. Like, there's always a possibility, but also they're in a gauntlet of a division. So, like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you're 8 games out of first right now. Do you just say, all right, Gallen's one of our best starters? Do we just offload
You're 8 games out of first, though, but also how many games are you out of second?
Yeah, 4.
Like, yeah, like they could sneak up and be one of the 2 teams in the NL West that end up getting a wild card. That's the hardest thing with the Central is that both of the wild cards might come out of the West, realistically.
It could. I mean, and then, God, you look at Gavin Sheets just raking for the Padres.
I know. It makes me hurt.
Gives me agita. Yeah, there's another guy who could be trade bait, but then again, you look at it. A lot of people are saying the Padres might be looking after Luis Robert or Luis Robert, as some people would call him. So
yeah, I mean, it could very well could happen. But we're in a silly little spot in the MLB season, and it's the only sport we have right now. So rely on it, love it. Do you want to talk about the CONCACAF Cup right now?
What's the CONCACAF Cup?
It's the U.S. beat, I think, Trinidad and Tobago. So the CONCACAF is about Northern and Central America. They beat Trinidad and Tobago and Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
Notoriously in North and South America, Saudi Arabia. Very cool. Very cool. Very fun. It's psycho,
man.
crazy. The U.S. sucks ass at soccer. Let's talk about
Yeah, we're not
football.
very good.
Let's talk about football.
Yeah, let's talk about football. Vince, I only have one question as it pertains to the football.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers being very secretive about his, in quote, marriage, and his family has recently made statements saying that they don't know about it,
Yeah, he's
even
not.
though he's claimed that he's not trying to keep it something that he wants to the media to know. So he's being very obtuse, but then again, he's not. He's kind of like, well, I mean, we're married.
Aaron
We bought a
Rodgers
house."
has always had a really good family life, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's kind of what I feel like. That dude had a small garden wedding of 3 of his closest friends and got married and signed the document and told no one about it so he can go on Pat McAfee and be like, yo, check it out. Like, what's up? Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like,
Do we think it's Randall Cobb? Do you think him and Randall Cobb are finally out for each other? And there you go.
I think Randall Cobb's already married and has 2 kids.
I know it. I know he is. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
kidding.
but that I don't know, dude. I think Aaron Rodgers likes being in a headline. He says that he hates it and he likes it.
Oh, he loves it.
I do have another thing on the NFL that just got talked about today, and I heard about it.
Okay.
There was an arbitrator talking about guaranteed contracts in the NFL.
Okay.
So Deshaun Watson got dummy money from the Browns, guaranteed, and it went downhill. And the collusion, it was called collusion ruling, I guess. Roger Goodell encouraged teams to reduce guarantees for veteran players, and they were found guilty of doing said things. Essentially saying that the owners got together and said, hey, stop yucking my yum, Jimmy Haslam. Fuck you for giving him so much money. Now everybody else has to give all these guys all this money. We can't do that. We can't guarantee all this money, so you got to chill out with that. So they all said, hey, we're all just going to agree, pinky promise, that you're not going to give people a bunch of money. And then it went to court.
So guaranteed money is off the table in the NFL.
Essentially at that level, because Deshaun Watson got what, like $300 million or something like that? Guaranteed?
Oh, yeah.
And then he sucks
I mean,
ass.
the Browns are just categorically horrible for doing that. You know what's interesting? This brings up another topic. Back to baseball for a minute. I don't know if you saw this article, but Fernando Tatis Jr. Recently, there's this company by the name of Ball or something. It's quite interesting. It was a program that basically bets on the production of minor league stars. What they do is they're like, we'll give you an advance. We'll give you $2 million right now. So you don't got to worry about money. You could just focus on your game, your training, all that. But when you become a star, we get 10% of your contract.
So they get money up front when people bet on them.
Right. So
And
like
then
they went to Fernando Tatis. They were like, here's $2 million. Stipulation. You sign this. We give you the $2 million.
You owe us
big
agent
contract.
price, essentially.
Essentially, that's it. And now he's suing this firm to get back. Because what, he got paid $340 million?
Yeah, what's 10% of that? 30 mil?
34 mil?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, well, yeah, don't sign that contract, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, but he signed it already. So you don't got a leg to stand on. You're fucked. You signed it.
Right. That's the whole thing. Yeah, don't sign a stupid contract.
So he's trying to fight it in court. He's probably going to spend more money in legal fees.
What's going to happen is they're going to settle for 20 mil and he's going to keep 14.
That's fine. It's just a lot of guys are in this mix right now. So,
another thing, by the way, unless they want to sponsor us, but they definitely don't want to. Did you hear about this FanDuel, if you will? I'm going to call it the FanDuel Fangool.
The FanDuel Fangool.
You hear about it? You hear about
no,
this?
I did not hear about the... is this about the parlay, the home run parlay?
If you're a FanDuel user...
If you're a Fangool, you may have got
FanDuel, listen to the Fangool. No, so there was a home run parlay that some guy has on Reddit. You pay to get on his page. He put a crazy parlay up. Parlay hit. It was like $11 for 120,000, something like that. And guess what? It cashed. And there was hundreds of guys in it. They all took it. So FanDuel's on the line for, I want to say 5 to tens of millions of dollars. Paid it out because they have to legally. And the next day they made a stipulation. So if you guys use FanDuel, I don't, but if you guys use FanDuel, there's a stipulation in them now that if you make a bet, they are allowed to void any bets after it happens based on group betting, I assume. Something about that, but they are allowed to prove it. They were allowed to void it. They're allowed to void any bet. They put it in their terms and their regulations.
So what's the point of gambling?
That's what I'm saying. The house always wins.
If it's rigged towards the house either way, what's the point of even gambling?
It always wins. I don't know.
Well,
that seems like
they're going to lose a lot of customers because of that stipulation, and whoever falls in line.
Honestly, I wish when I saw that, I just put a bunch of money in DraftKings. I should have just been like, let me just invest in DraftKings right now if they're a public company.
Oh, yeah, their stock is going through the roof as we speak.
That is crazy, though.
Absolutely.
Well, because also if someone loses a bet and they're like, that's bullshit. Like that's the price of playing the game. Like that's the price of playing the game. Why are you playing the game?
You got to pay the piper.
How much money did FanDuel make in the last 3 years? They are the betting partner of the NFL, I think. Which had
okay. What about these Gronk fucking parlays that they promote to you on Sunday? Are they all cooked? They all got to be cooked. Yeah, because
why are you trusting Gronk? Trust somebody that bets on the game all the time.
Yeah, Gronk out here just be like, I really like Terry McLaurin over the past year. Okay, that wasn't scripted.
I think the second string tight end's gonna get 3 touchdowns. They're like, shit.
And then you got Terry's, half geriatric ass out there just being like, well, I'll tell you back in the day,
Terry Bradshaw.
we would bet it. Well, you should definitely bet. I got Jaden Daniels over the Russian and put the money in. Okay, Colonel Sanders, we're good.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I saw that too, I was like, that's so insane. But that also makes me happy that I'm not really a sports bettor.
I like to, you throw a couple 2-tree schmeckles.
2 trees? Then, you know where I draw the line for me? And by all means, like, it's a free world. Do whatever you guys want. But for me, I don't want to get, like, caught up into it. I enjoy like, if I'm watching the NBA Finals, I'm not going to be like, Shea has to score 20. I hate that. Because I want to root for the best game possible.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
I'm looking for, like, hey, let's make this a 2-point game at the end of the game. It's like maybe over under 5 is fun for me. Like that's where I would want to be. I would take the under just so it's fun, but like no shot. When you're rooting for like Lou Dort to have 5 assists, like that changes the way you watch the game. And I'm trying to watch it as like an unbiased viewer because none of my teams compete ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. So like that's why I don't get into it that way. You don't watch
the team all the time. That's the problem.
Yeah. But also I don't bet on my team. I would never bet on my team.
Yeah. Sometimes when I do, I do well, though. I bet on the White Sox a couple times. I won every single time.
Yeah, against them. Money line against the White Sox.
Yeah. Money line against the White Sox over the strikeouts. You're bound to do something.
You're gravy, baby. You're so gravy.
Even though Ben Attendee has really been living up to the largest contract in White Sox history, by the way.
For 3 months.
Yeah, he's been doing okay.
And then other than that, he's been booty cheeks, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We have championships to talk about, Mike.
We have a particular championship to talk about. Yes, we do.
The Thunder won the championship in Game 7. Our dreams came true. We talked about what our wishes were.
A game late, our dreams did come true.
So our predictions were it was going to go 6. For sure. But last week we were like, prediction-wise, we wanted to go 6. But the best case scenario is we get a Game 7 and it's fun. And we got 50% of that because Game 7 turned into bullshit almost immediately.
It wasn't good.
Like 10 minutes in, we were like, fuck. Haliburton out with an Achilles. Had a tight calf. Out with an Achilles. He's out for a year now.
This is the problem with these strained calves. A lot of these guys are overcompensating, and then one thing leads to another, and then boom.
What are you supposed to do in that scenario? What are you supposed to do? Your team's in a game 7. You are the star
you can't
player.
Be shut down. Like,
You
what
can't
would
not
you
play.
do? If my team looked at me and they're like, well, you have a strained calf and we're going into this, and it's like, we want to shut you down. I'd be like,
Don't play.
No shot.
What the fuck?
I'd be like, that's why I play the game. You play to win the game.
What are people going to say if you don't play that game 7? You're like, I was worried about my calf. It's like, you don't care about our team.
Well, my question is, and I think a lot of it, I hate to say this, I don't know. These Achilles injuries have really sparked up over the past, especially in basketball, over like the past 10 years.
You want to know what I'm scared about?
Look at KD. You look at Clay.
Well, dude, look at the last
Haliburton.
Look at the last 2 months.
Tatum.
I
understand.
Damian Lillard and Tyrese Haliburton. All number 0, all in this playoffs, all out for the year now.
All wear low top shoes. They all have that in common.
Is that the thing? You gotta make sure you're high top.
Well, think about it. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were wearing almost fucking moon boots out there, and there was no issues.
They were probably running 10% slower against 10% slower people. Yeah, they were. Athletes are better now than they were. Athletes are better now than they were.
I disagree with that statement.
What the fuck, dude? Athletes are better now than they were.
Dude,
Come on.
Scottie Pippen is one of the most athletic human beings to ever grace a basketball court.
But you're not telling me that he's faster and stronger now than he was in 1992?
I mean, not right now, but I'm just saying if he was playing in today's game, he'd be competing. He'd be still one of the best. Same thing with MJ.
It's just faster. It's proven faster. It's sports science faster. Rest in peace, King.
Rest in peace, sports science guy.
Yeah.
I don't understand the thought process there. I do believe that it has something to do with the shoes. Did he tape his ankle? Was it secured? I don't know. There's a lot of things here. Not saying that would have, kept the Achilles intact, but.
Well, it's more just pushing that too. It's like clear. Okay. First thing I want to say, too, is that OKC win was valid and real, and that's a championship. 100%. Because a lot of people are saying, like, Haliburton went out, that shit's bullshit. Fuck you, no way. They were going to win it regardless. I'm confident in that.
I agree.
It is what it is. But at the same thing, it's like every single – first off, also, small market teams, 19 million people watched it. So – kick that shit out the window. Anybody that's in the finals, people are going to watch it. But also, that did suck. Like, that happened, and you're like, oh, well, they're going to push it and try, but not having your best player against what OKC was, like, that shit was over in the middle of the third quarter. You saw that happen, you're like, it's done. It's over.
Well, I give Indiana a lot of credit. They did hang around for quite a bit longer.
Yeah, 2.5 quarters.
It just wasn't there. So when you look at it overall, you're just like, well, you tried your best. You did everything you could. But beyond that, there was nothing that they could do.
Badass team. Badass team.
Without their most clutch player, now you look at it, do they have to go back to the drawing board. You got to start trading guys. In my opinion, you get rid of the guys.
You want to know what Indiana's a lot like?
Boston.
They're like the Milwaukee Brewers, bud.
We'll see.
No, I'm telling you, every single year, they're not bad. They don't drop.
They're under the cap usually every year.
Well, and they also don't drop to the top 5 pick. Like, ever. Everybody that they got on their team, they either traded for or manufactured that, like, throughout their time. Like, they have never been bad. Indiana's been either, like, 500 or a little bit over and in the playoffs for every year.
Well, Indiana constructs that team very well. And to your point, they've been close year after year after year. So if we do look at this, I think eventually you're going to get to a point, if you're Indiana, you got to get rid of Siakam. You got to get rid of some of these guys.
Maybe they just signed Siakam. Like, well, you're going to keep him. Some guys are going to come up on their deal. McConnell's going to be gone too, but like, they're never going to go splashy. They're just going to play hardball. Like, Rick Carlisle's a dog, and you got to keep him as long as
Carlisle's a great coach. That was a very hard coach series. They definitely went tit for tat. It's just the talent of OKC and the depth. It's too much. And then if you look at what they're doing now,
They're
they just
picking right
drafted
now.
a forward. They just drafted a forward and a center. So
that's the thing. It's like this OKC
continue to
team.
reload.
For all that being said, what a season by Indiana, and everybody doubted them the whole entire time, and they just dogged. OKC was the best team in the league the entire year. They had the best player in the league for this year. Some would argue. I think Jokic was probably better, but it doesn't matter. SGA wins the MVP.
SGA is him.
I agree. So they give best team in the league, MVP, championship. What a team. Like, there's your team.
And I know the repeat talk is always just like just drown it out after a certain while, but you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay.
Well,
they could do it. They could do it.
Dude,
there's
so
an
could the
actual
Celtics, though, and then look what happened.
The Celtics, okay, I understand barring injury, but that team is going in healthy. They're a ton of depth. What else are you going to do?
At the beginning of the playoffs, it was like Celtics going to win this. Everybody said it.
Well, you knew it was going to be the Celtics winning the East and then the Thunder winning the West.
Right. And then Tatum goes down and you're like everything. That's the thing. It's like we talked about windows last week. Like windows are big and then they're tiny as shit in 1 minute.
Or slam shut to your point.
Yeah. Or it's like, if you have the opportunity, you take it. And the Celtics took it. And we'll talk about them in a moment. But I do want to keep talking about OKC because that was a squad. Unbelievable squad for like the entire year, and they finished it out. Now they did their parade, and a couple things happened. First off, SGA out on the concrete with the trophy. Bold move. Like,
very
what are we
bold.
doing?
Well, you got to show the fans what's going on.
100%. And OKC loved it, obviously. Jalen Williams, first drink of his life. Not a fan.
Good for him.
Not a fan, though.
Just such an anomaly of a human. When he spoke for the first time, I'm like,
nice fella.
I wasn't expecting that, but I love it because he's got like the big fro and all this, and he just comes out. He's like, "Hello, I'm Jalen Williams," and you're like,
"My name's Jalen."
Huh? Huh? I had my first cocktail at 22. You're like, okay, good for you.
Hey,
good job, bud.
What a time, right? I mean, my first beer was like on a trampoline when I was 13, and this dude wins an NBA
you hope
championship.
that doesn't ruin him. You hope that doesn't ruin him, right?
Well, no, he said
he's never.
He said he had a couple shots, had some champagne. All of it was disgusting. He said he would rather go back to Shirley Temple's.
Hey, can you blame him?
Yeah,
alcohol doesn't necessarily taste good. Gets jobs
You want to know what's gotten him pretty far? Not doing it. So good for him. Did you see Aaron Wiggins? Aaron Wiggins has been like a bench guy for them for the entire year. He did a speech. Did you see it?
No. Was it lackluster? Like Chet Holmgren's speech was super lackluster?
He's not a public speaker. But Aaron Wiggins did a speech because he was drafted by them in 2021 when they were at their lowest at that time. And he should be a motivational speaker when he is done with the NBA.
Really?
When I watched that, I was
ready
like,
to run through
this
a wall?
guy's a fucking man. Because he was just like, I saw it in 2021 when we won 23 games and all of you were there. Every single person was there. He's like, and we keep growing and everybody's there, and we win it and everybody's there. He's like, this is for everybody. This is not for us. This is the whole team, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, this guy fucking rocks, 100%. And like, that's the whole thing too, is like the small market teams, people show up and the same people show up.
That's why you hope they repeat, Vince. This is why I hope they repeat.
I know. I'm
because
just
for
saying,
them
like,
in that city, it would be monumental, and they would appreciate it more than anybody.
Can they? Well, you say can they and will they? Adam Silver already has more championships in his tenure than David Stern ever has. That's crazy. David Stern was the commissioner for, 25 years? Adam Silver for 10?
Well,
11?
Isn't that just math?
Well, no, it's we've had different championships for the last 7 years.
Oh, you're meaning like different teams over the past 7 years.
Because
Okay,
Adam Silver's
yes.
had the Bull, or David Stern had the Bulls, and the Lakers won a bunch, and like the Spurs won a
the
bunch.
Spurs, yes.
And
then
now you
had
got
Heat.
now you got the Warriors, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Raptors, like all
I
these.
feel
teams
like
win.
everybody who is a NBA fan though wants the repeat because the lore of the repeat is kind of what we've grown up
But
with.
it's kind of fun having some. I agree with that. 100%.
Parody is great. I love parody.
Parody's nice.
Parody in sports is the greatest thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Because you never know, dude. Like, who's the next? What's the next team's gonna win? Like, no one expected the Raptors to win. The Nuggets come out of nowhere and win. Like the OKC, everybody was like, they're gonna win, but 50% of you is like, yeah, but also they can get knocked out in 2 minutes. But they won it, and you're like, fuck yeah, they did it. Like, you never know what's gonna happen.
Well, to your point, something catastrophic could happen, and you hope it doesn't. But these Achilles injuries need to be studied, I feel like. I don't know if it's the shoes. I don't know if you're going to see more guys going all in on transferring out of high tops outside of low tops. Because once again, in the late 90s, early 2000s, high tops were all the craze.
There's a lot of sports science that's going to come in right now. I have a real feeling about that, where it's like, what's the right way to do it? What's the right shoe to do it properly, and how do you prolong your career? Because also we're not in a spot where the Achilles ruins your career anymore, which is also nice.
You're never the same. It's like an ACL.
Yeah,
You're
but
never
you do that 20 years ago, and your career's over.
Sure.
Now you're Kevin Durant. You're still averaging 30 points a game. Like, that's a whole different ballgame.
Understood, but he's still, if he doesn't tear his Achilles, he maybe is the same Kevin Durant he was before it.
Statistically, he is.
Statistically, he is, but he's still not the explosive nature of his game is no longer
different.
There. He's more of a spotted up catch shoot guy.
Well, also,
and that's kind of what he's
depends
been
on the player too. But like Tatum and Haliburton drive,
yes,
and mid range and drive. Like, that's like Kevin Durant became a 3-point shooter because of that.
Sure.
He was.
Well,
he always was. No, granted,
shifting.
He's going to be top 5, top 4, top 3 in his career. But he became more of a 3-point shooter because he's like, I have to choose where I'm shooting from.
If you look at the game right now, and just threes made and all that, still a very big component of the game. But
that's
then
the whole
again,
thing, yeah.
You look at the ball movement of OKC and a lot of the shots they were creating primarily in the paint. There's a lot of things to be said there about that team and what they're trying to accomplish moving forward. And you look at their draft; they're really just drafting out of necessity and depth right now. And I feel
they
like
have fucking 12 picks in the next 3 years or something like that.
12 picks, but like you look at what they did tonight. They got another forward, they got a center, they just drafted another wing. Like, they got 3 picks in the first round.
Building the team. You want to go Mikey trivia right now?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
2 players in the 2020s have 2 rings. Who are they?
2 players in the 2020s have 2 rings. Pascal Siakam.
No, because that was 2019.
Oh.
I will give you a hint. One was this year.
Alex Caruso.
Correct. Who's the other? It might be a segue. Some would say it might be a segue.
Drew Holiday?
Yes, dude. Those are the 2 guys.
Wow.
Caruso,
that's crazy.
Caruso, Lakers and Thunder. Drew Holiday, Bucks and Celtics.
Crazy.
And Drew Holiday's a Portland Trailblazer right now.
Yeah, I saw that. And then Porzingis got shipped to the Wizards, I think.
No, not
that
the Wizard. He got no, because CJ McCollum's a Wizard right now.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, obviously. Porzingis to the Hawks.
Still not good.
The Celtics are blowing it up. Celtics are blowing it up for sure. We knew that. Also, aside really quick, Sam Presti's a dog. Sam Presti is the dog, the Vision King. He joined the Supersonics, fun fact. When Kevin Durant was on the team, he built the James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and continued to be amazing at drafting his entire career. I'm glad he finally won. I wanted to say that. But Drew Holiday traded to the Trailblazers for Anthony Simons, who's a dog, on a cheaper deal. And then Porzingis is gone too. And I think they're going to have to make another move too. Derek White, Jaylen Brown might be moving, unfortunately. But the Celtics blow-up is imminent.
So you want to talk trivia. Who was the player that constructed this whole thing? What was the trade? It was a sign-in trade.
Oh, Paul George. Of this?
No, it was before that, during the
champion?
Supersonics.
You're talking about
Supersonics that helped construct all the picks to get Russell Westbrook, Ibaka, all these guys.
The Sonics trade.
Well, it was a sign-in trade. He was their best player on the Sonics at the time.
Rashard Lewis?
Yeah, wow, what a plug.
To the Magic.
Yes.
Yeah, with Dwight Howard.
Correct.
I will tell you this because Tracy McGrady, the cover of NBA Live, Rashard Lewis, dog on the Sonics, goes to the Magic, most OP team. Dwight Howard just dunking on everybody. Rashard Lewis, disgusting from three. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way in real life, even though that I think without Rashard Lewis, that Magic team did go to a finals. Didn't win, though.
No, they did. They lost to the Lakers.
Correct.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
Crazy.
I love Rashard Lewis, dude. I will always be a Rashard Lewis king.
To think Rashard Lewis is the complete rebuilding piece of that whole team is insane.
Yeah, but also
Rashard Lewis, Paul George.
I believe it. Rashard Lewis, underrated, in my opinion. If there's any history of a sport thing, baseball goes too far back. Football, there's too many players. If you give me the NBA, I'll get most
right in the
of
sweet spot.
I'll get most of them.
But to your point, Sam Presti, maybe the best GM in sports. I wish the Bulls had it. Drew Holiday, the Blazers, a lot of teams are being just momentum driven right now.
Drew's not happy about it, by the way.
He's probably going to ask for a move.
You gotta assume he's going to get bought out or traded again. Because, I mean, Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, and Drew Holiday is not a winning team. That sounds like when the Sixers were trying their best. That's kind of how it feels right now. But
maybe
old.
You asked to get moved to a team that may be contending next year. Maybe you asked to get moved to I don't know, Nuggets or something along those lines.
Oh, what a beautiful mix. What a beautiful mix. Also, Kevin Durant's a Rocket. We didn't talk about that yet. Kevin Durant's a Rocket.
Was that trade too much?
What, for him?
Yeah, you're lobbying your future based off of an aging star.
Did you? So the way it was announced initially was what is it? Jalen Green? Is that the guy that's on their team, or is Jalen Green the dunker?
I think it's
Jalen Green. Jalen Green's right. Okay, so him, two other guys, and then 6 picks was the announcement. And you're like, 6 picks. It was 1 first round and 5 second round picks. Second round picks are a dime a dozen unless it's Nikola Jokic. That's
I think that's what they're trying to bank on, and I feel like that's what the HBUs are trying to do. Either that or get capital.
He wanted everybody to know that he got 6 picks. He didn't want everybody to know that he got 6 second round picks. That was the idea, the way I think about it. People are arguing that Jalen Green's a star. Jalen Green's not a star. Never has been. Maybe he turns into one. I think it was the perfect package for him, to be honest.
Well, for the Suns now, what are you going to do with Devin Booker? What do you do with
Bradley Beal? But you can't because he has no trade. They have a lot of guards.
Wouldn't he want to waive it? I don't know. Well, who also has a lot of guards? The fucking Bulls.
Yeah, right. I know.
So many guards. But also, Kobe White.
Do you want to waive your no-trade clause unless you're going to go to a good team, but also you're going to be able to play? One thing I will say, though, is was it too much for the Rockets? We remember where the Rockets were this year. They were second in the West, right? Second or third.
Yeah, they were right there.
They get to the second round, and their biggest deficiency was...
they couldn't play defense, and they couldn't rebound.
They could play defense. They couldn't make shots.
Yeah, well, that
they couldn't shoot.
Help.
What is Kevin Durant good at?
Shooting.
Makes the fucking ball into the hoop. If you have
Yes, he
one
does.
veteran on the team that can make shots, and you have Thompson, you have Şengün, Fred VanVleet, if he stays with the team, we'll see what happens. Like, you have guys that can play defense, that can at least facilitate the ball around, and Kevin Durant can score. Like, I like that. For 2-3 years, I'll take it.
I think you might have a play at Drew Holiday maybe looking to go to Houston because
That'd be fun.
That would, for him, I mean, that's just like, all right, I'll be another veteran guy on a young team. We'll go. I don't have to play all the minutes, but I can play enough meaningful minutes that I can make it work.
Yeah. It was a young team with no veteran presence, and now they have, a top 3 veteran in the league right now?
If not, yeah, one of the best. I'm just more curious what happens with Devin Booker now. Does he stay? Is he moved?
That team, he's still kind of young, dude.
Imagine, okay, if there is a deal that they could figure out to move Book to the Pistons for a bunch of potential.
Oh, what a fit.
For him, that would
Him and
just
Cade,
be like,
just scoring 25 to 30 a game.
yeah. If Tobias Harris could not be in that pick.
Yeah, well, Tobias Harris played really well this year. Devin Booker,
Yeah, he played great.
Devin Booker's still 28 too. So, the Suns flip it up, and then in 2 years they're good again. Like, if he's 30 and he's the veteran of that team, like that's cash in the bank for them.
To the point, the problem is you got to figure out a way to move Beal.
And they can't, unless some
Do
team.
you think Kyle Kuzma
bites.
is the answer? Bradley Beal?
Well, now it's CJ McCollum. CJ
Now it's-
McCollum on
now
the
it's
Wizards.
McCollum.
Yeah. So Porzingis to the Hawks, kind of non-consequential. Drew gets moved as well. Katie gets moved as well. A lot of other moves are going to happen. You got to assume that the Bucks are going to try to blow it up a little bit too. So there's a lot of trades incoming. But we already saw a bunch. I mean, Kevin Durant got traded on Game 7 day. He took all of the headlines for the first half of the day just from that.
Yeah, and he claimed, I didn't know. He's full of it.
He was at Fanatics Fest with everybody else in the world.
Yeah. He didn't know, though.
With Brady and Gronk dropping the trophy and fucking Joe Burrow not knowing how to throw a baseball. You're like, what's going on?
Joe Burrow not knowing how to throw a baseball may be like the worst thing I've seen in a long
conspiracy on that. I'm conspiracy on that. I heard PMT talk about it today, and I'm like, I feel like they said that Fanatics probably pays people to like make clippable moments, and now I believe it. Because like Livy Dunn getting spilled on her feet. You saw that? Some guy spilled a soda on her foot, and it was like, oh, and then Brady and Gronk broke the trophy. All of those were clippable moments. I swear to God, they're paying them for it now.
Yeah, it's like, all right, just go be idiots, and we'll clip it.
Well, yeah, it's like Joe Burrow.
clicks.
I'll give you $2 million if you not know how to throw a baseball. Now everybody's like, Fanatics Fest. Oh my God.
Yeah, he played baseball growing up.
Yeah,
and
he knows how to
basketball.
throw a baseball. Come on.
Yeah,
He's a
he's an elite
quarterback.
athlete. Yeah, I think most
Fuck
quarterbacks
off.
used to play baseball. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, NBA draft tonight.
Yeah.
Bulls took kid from France.
Yeah, I'm gonna input our immediate reaction right. Her. But the Bulls pick Noah Asengwe from France.
The 12th pick in the first round. Second youngest in NBA draft. 3 days older than Cooper Flagg.
Guess what
He's a
year he
baby.
was born, Mike?
2007.
2006, December 18th. So almost. You were off by 13 days. He
Yikes.
last year as an 18-year-old.
Just a baby.
Last year as an 18-year-old, 23.7 minutes per game, averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. I don't know, man. There's not like
This is
right,
this
highlights.
is like Tony Kukoc, right? I mean, so this is to me very Kukoc. We've done
Yeah.
this before.
it could be like Tony Kukoc or it could be like Patrick Williams.
Or it could be like Mirotic.
Which was probably the middle line. But also Mirotic was the MVP of the Spanish leagues.
Okay.
This guy is younger.
That
12th
that and a bowl
overall.
of soup. That and a penny will get you a bowl of
I'm
soup.
interested to know if we're going to get him right away or if he's going to wait. He also played in France. So that means he played alongside Wembanyama, like in same league, different team, for at least 1 year. No, not for 1 year. 'Cause he's been in for 2. So
the problem is, all these guys are gonna hype it up and be like, "This is a great pick for the Bulls," even though they're stuck.
you want to know what sucks though? He shot 50% from the field, but he shot 294 from 3. So he's not a shooter. But also, we don't really need that as much as we need some post guys. Let's look at his size. He's 6'10", like 194.
Okay. Whatever. What they're doing is going young. And
they're going young, and they're also they're whiter. You gotta develop it. They're whiter now, dude.
Well, but
not even whiter, more European. Excuse me, more European. He's not white, but like more European is what I meant.
What's the Bulls' next pick in this draft?
Probably second round. I don't think we got any new picks.
No, we don't got another first. Here's the issue with this whole thing. It's just like, okay, you have this guy. We're not going to be good for another. But here's the problem.
We're not. Yeah.
Why not Asa Newell? Asa Newell played at Georgia. It was like him and another guy that were kind of leading this charge. So you're going with the more unproven product as opposed to the proven product.
Well, because maybe they're like, we're not going to compete for 2 years. Why do we need a guy that's good right now?
Then is he going to be in the G League? Are we going to go see him at the Sears Center? Are we going to go see him at the Sears Center?
Guy. He could be a two-way guy. Dude, that's the thing. Like, you look at the NBA draft is such a crapshoot. Anything past 10 is such a crapshoot. Like, okay.
Jimmy Butler was picked at 20.
Yeah, why do you and I think it was later than that, wasn't it? And why do you he dropped that far down, and like, let's look at his draft. Let's go Jimmy Butler draft. I thought he was at the end of the draft, almost completely at the end of it. He was drafted 30th overall in 2011.
There you go.
Number 2 overall pick in 2011. Number 1 was Kyrie Irving, great pick. Number 2 was Derek Williams. Where's Derek Williams right now? Not in the league. Jan Vesely, Bismack Biyombo, Brandon Knight, Jimmer Fredette, all those guys out of the league. Tobias Harris, people talk about him.
Dogging.
Nikola Mirotic, drafted 23rd that draft. Norris Cole, Juwan Johnson, excuse me. And then you get Jimmy Butler at 30. And that's a consistent theme.
You're not competing anytime soon. It's just such purgatory.
Well,
what's going to be really interesting is
you throw a dart and you hope it works out.
What's going to be really interesting is what does OKC do at 15? It's crazy they just won a championship in their pick.
Well, they got 15, and then next year they got 3 more, right? We'll get into it. But I wanted a live reaction to the Bulls draft. And my whole thing is once you get past 10, you're just going to see what happens. Because Giannis was 15th? Anybody in that draft would take Giannis 1 now.
Oh, of course. Hey, redrafts are always hindsight 2020.
Jokic went second round 16th or something like that. He'd go first round top 2.
Jokic maybe 1. I mean, think about it. Dirk Nowitzki was originally drafted by the fucking Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was Kobe drafted by?
The Charlotte Hornets.
And that is a curse, just like everything else. They've never been good since they drafted Kobe. But that's our live reaction. We're going to technically start the show now. See ya. So that's the Bulls. That was our immediate reaction for that. Other things, very surprising. Dallas Mavericks, guess who they took? You'll never guess.
This guy by the name of Flag.
Oh, Cooper Flag. Oh, Cooper Flag?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course,
they're a squad. A couple big picks at the top of the draft. I mean, we're going to see how it all goes. You never really know. Some guy called Cooper Flag the combination of LeBron James and Kevin Garnett. Who was some guy? Who was he? Who do you think said that?
Kendrick Perkins.
King. He already knows. Yeah, unbelievable. What
he had to.
Dude, I
think
tweeted this
people
today.
flag.
I started watching the draft before we started recording today, and I muted it because it was you have Tim Legler, who's having a nice conversation about the actual players, and then you have Kendrick Perkins and Malik Andrews talking about fucking whatever for so much that I was like,
And then
this is
Stephen A.
brutal.
Smith, it's like, no, you don't understand.
That's
They
what I'm
got to.
saying. It's like mute. Like I had to mute it. It
They
drove
need
me
to.
nuts.
They need to do something. NBC needs to come in and completely change the coverage.
The
Because this is
ABC.
horrible.
Yeah, they need a clear
Yeah.
house.
Well,
They need a clear
no,
house.
NBC's gets basketball next year. Have you been paying?
Do they
attention?
have the draft and stuff?
Basketball? I don't know.
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
It's a bad
Woo!
product in comparison to the NFL on ESPN because the NFL also does ESPN draft, and that draft is decent at least. It's just whoever's doing the NBA is like bad at the draft. It's just not good.
It's so well. It just needs. The NFL figured it out. The NBA wants to be there and like wants to create the hype. It's just not the same. And you got the same three talking squawks just sitting there regurgitating the same shit they always did.
To be fair,
it's just
To be fair, too, there are 22 positions in the NFL where there's a top person in each position. Like after you get past 5 picks, you're going to keep repeating positions. You know, the first time an
I
RB
understand.
goes, you're like, oh my God, an RB goes. And then the first time a cornerback goes, you're like, who's the next best cornerback?
yeah.
Like,
It's not like
at
basketball.
least-
It's like, oh, another
yeah.
center went.
oh shit, there's fucking 7 centers in the first round. It's like, this is unbelievable. You're like, yeah, at some point, like you start losing talent on that, but it's just, you know, you see the guys that you want to go initially, like Ace Bailey goes, Cooper Flagg goes, like, you know, all those guys go and you're like, all right, I'm fine. After that, you're like, oh, some guy from France, some German dude goes, a Chinese center went. I don't know
Yeah,
about
not
him. We're
Yao
going to see
Ming.
what happens.
Not Yao Ming. Is it who the fuck does he think he is?
Well,
Yao
that's the
Ming?
thing too. It's like the people that are calling the draft don't know about him either. Like no one knows who this guy is.
Yeah, you see Kendrick Perkins. This could be the next Yao Ming. It's like I don't know why.
Where'd you
I
get
have
Where'd
this
you
weird-
get that clever ass idea from, dude? Like where? It's so dumb, dude. I just
This kid from Spain could be the next Ricky Rubio. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
I don't
like
know
I
how
can't.
Kendrick is turning into Chuck. I don't know how that's
I
happening.
can't. Yeah, right. Yeah, you did. You kind of mix those two right there.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do day 2 tomorrow. And it's like no one's gonna watch it. Is you know.
Yeah, who's
I
gonna
mean,
watch it?
Nikola Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell pick. Don't remember that. It was a
You know
Taco
what
Bell
the
commercial.
NBA should? You know what NBA should do if they're smart? What you do is you get the top stars from the WNBA to call the NBA draft.
That'd be fun. Caitlin Clark calls the NBA draft. It'd be fun.
Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham,
Yeah.
and
then just
Angel
the
Reese, and then
just the fever.
afterwards, full blown, just jelly pit fight. All right, go get your
All
bikinis
right.
out.
All right. Calm
And now,
down.
now you're getting in the pit.
All
Now
right,
you're getting in the
pause,
pit.
Pause. They're athletes. They're
I know,
athletes.
but hey, truly, it's a good idea
it
without
would be
the jelly
more
pit.
exciting than this. I will give you that. I will give you
Right,
that.
because now you're bringing attention to their game in a very positive way. They get to talk about the players. Maybe they know dick about them, but then again, they have time to prepare. And
That's
don't think
true.
for a second that they don't also watch the men's game because they have to.
They have to. Here's another PMT thing I heard today. What if the Pacers pick Caitlin Clark at the end of the second round? Best move
I
of
don't
all
think
time.
they can do that, could they?
But I don't know. But if they could,
I don't know if Caitlin Clark could come off the bench of the NBA.
No,
and be productive.
but-
she's struggling mightily right now.
but that doesn't matter, does it? Because Haliburton's out. Pacers suck. How do you sell tickets, Mike?
So it's-
You bring Caitlin
you-
Clark out and she shoots from the logo and she makes 1 of 5? Fine. Easy. First NBA bucket. Everybody freaks out.
Cross-pollination of the NBA, WNBA. Maybe we will see it before we are dead. Who
Just
knows?
saying. Hey, do me a favor and name 5 NBA players right now. Or WNBA
NBA?
players. No, WNBA.
Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham.
You said another one already.
Oh, Angel Reese.
Yeah.
I don't want to plug her because I don't like her.
I know, but you know who she is. Also, you're going to struggle.
Shit. She played point guard at UConn, and now she's on the Dallas team. Paige Bueckers.
Yeah, Beckers, yeah. The problem is you're not naming the best player in the WNBA right now. I said her name last week.
Who's that baddie who played on Miami that you love so much? What was her name?
On Seattle now?
Yeah.
Nika Mule.
Yeah. What's up?
I can't believe you didn't say Sabrina Ionescu.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
She's the best player in the WNBA.
I don't watch the WNBA, Vince.
Get it together, Michael.
I don't watch that. I watch Sophie Cunningham throw bitches to the ground. I'm like, all right, I'm in on that. I like her.
Fair enough. Shit rocks, and that gets the media engine moving.
Does.
Before we leave, Justin Timberlake, Senorita. Before we leave, NHL, Panthers championship. People are lighting shit on fire. Like,
so sick of this.
On Twitter and on everything, they're like, the Panthers have no fans. They're doing the parade and no one's there. I feel like that's sore loser stinky time. It doesn't matter how many people go to your championship. You already won. I hate that they won, but you can't hate on the parade. They already won.
Don't hate on the parade. Hate the player. I really wanted Draisaitl and McDavid to win this series, and it just wasn't it. And we discussed it a little last week. But
do you know what I'm saying, though? It's like if you win a championship and then someone high fives, you're like, that was a bad high five. You're like, who gives a fuck? We already won. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, game's over. Game's over.
You already lost. Be a sore loser. Dude. Stop being a
I'm
baby.
just sick of like all the Chicago people who are there. Like, yeah, go Panthers.
I know.
We're Panthers fans. Look at my jersey.
Are there a lot of Chicago Coyotes fans? If the Coyotes are good?
No, now they're
There's a lot of Chicago people in Arizona. You know this. We know this.
Well, the problem was the stadium was played at ASU's hockey stadium.
Fair enough. Is that in Tempe?
And there wasn't. Yeah, it was Tempe.
Tempe, excuse me.
Tempe. Wife calls it Tempe.
Is that okay? I was like, isn't that like Pompeii? I thought it was Tempe.
Tempe, and one of her favorite bands is Surfaces. Not Surfaces.
Surfaces. Ah, okay, got it.
Sunday best. With that,
yes.
Go Panthers. We appreciate you coming in for another episode. This will be the last episode from the road for a while.
Ooh.
So I'm so grateful for that.
Okay.
The next episode you will be listening to, these two people will most likely be sitting right next to each other. So how about that?
Ayo.
Gotta figure out the logistics of that.
Welcome back to Chicago, bud, huh?
Yeah, head home.
Dish, eat a goddamn Italian beef.
I don't know. It's gonna be hot, so I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that.
Dude, it is. It's sweaty and Italian out here, bud. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna need the antique up over here. We're looking forward to getting away from the dry heat, and then you get a little bit of moisture in the air, but in a little bit of rain, it'll be good to see some green. So just ready to go back. Like, welcome back. Like, somebody played Mace's Welcome Back, because that's how I feel right now. So the boys are back in town next week. As always, we thank you for coming into it. If you haven't yet, please like, follow, share, subscribe, maybe download it, maybe like it, maybe give it a comment, maybe, just maybe, call in 312-725-2107 and give us your thoughts about what you would like to hear on the next episode. But until that time, we will see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah,